I recently had the opportunity to interview Andrew Wexler, as the company that he leads was receiving the Go Beyond Profit Champion Award, which recognizes tremendous corporate generosity. Andrew is the CEO of Herschend Enterprises, which operates entertainment venues all around the country, a lot of places you've heard of like Dollywood and Silver Dollar City. As I was talking to Andrew about this great award that Herschend was receiving, I also took the opportunity to ask him about some of the personal challenges that he's faced in his life. And he told a story from his childhood that was impactful in its own right, but he then related it to the decision making that he as a leader had to make during the pandemic. This is a powerful story, and as a leader, I think it's something that all of us can take something away from. I hope you enjoy it. Every person I know that has been successful, if you ask them to think about their journey, can point to things that in the past that were really hard. They didn't like it, in the moment, didn't want to go through it. But as they look back now, they're grateful for it because they said, I wouldn't be where I am, who I am today, other than that. And so this is what I would put on you with no preparation or time to think about it here is, you have gotten to a point in your life where anyone externally is looking and say, wow, this is an incredibly successful guy, leads this incredible company, you got a beautiful family, you're fit, like all this kind of stuff. And people don't know men may look at it and go like, oh, he's just won the genetic lottery, he won the, whatever, and it kind of happened. But haven't been able to see that journey. And some of those people may be in one of those times right now, right? Where just they are struggling. They don't see the light at the end of the tunnel. They don't know where their life is going. And so if you're willing to just kind of tell your story a little bit, and you don't have to go into all the details if you don't want to, but some of those times you've been through that you look back and say, wasn't fun then, but I'm grateful I went through it now.
One of the things that's really shaped me is my childhood, and I'm very introverted. I'm not a very outgoing person, but my mother was very nomadic. And so growing up, I went to 12 different schools from first grade to 12th grade. My mother was this grass is always greener type person. No matter where we moved, it was always going to be the next city, the next job, the next husband that was going to make her happy. And the reality is it never did. And so two things I learned from that. One was because I was always the new kid, if I wanted to be the starting tight end or a student council representative, I had to really fight for it, and be aggressive because there was already a starting tight end. There was already the person who was in the student council. And so it forced me to be much more outgoing and aggressive, which is not my nature. And I say aggressive, not in a bad way, but, actually outgoing. But also it taught me the grass isn't always greener. And you see people's lives, especially today with Facebook and Instagram, and all you see are the green pasture moments. You don't see the brown patches of grass that are the other parts of their lives. And we all have them, moments where we're sad, we're depressed, we don't feel good about ourselves. And so I learned that it's okay to feel that way. It's okay to have failures because life isn't always perfect. And if you think you can pursue a perfect life, you're going to be set up for even more failure. And that you've got to be content and peaceful in the moment, knowing that whatever the situation is, it'll get better. I think about, COVID is a great example of that. I was, extremely stressed out, to even say mildly. I was CEO of this company that was, 70 years old, and it might go out of business under me. And I remember one day I had my leadership team on the phone and we were talking about, some of the things that we were having to do. And I said, I don't want to be the CEO that lost Jack and Pete's legacy. Because to me, it wasn't about a company going out of business, but it was, a legacy of caring and taking care of people and bringing families closer together that was going to be gone. And I just could not let that happen under my watch. Fortunately, we got through the pandemic and we've recovered very well, but it was in those darkest days that I knew that if we just do the right thing, that we'll get through it. And I think back on those times, and you can ask my team, I looked terrible. You know, in fact, Chris Herschend, who's our chairman, was like, you know, called me up and said, Jack saw a video of you, and he says you look like crap. You know, what's wrong? I'm like, you know, how you doing? You know, so as dark as it gets, know that it'll pass.
So much I love in that, and just think for the honesty and transparency on some things that are obviously painful. And you know, I think oftentimes, again, people kind of look at people in leadership positions, people who have been successful, and they just assume they got it all together. They know all the answers. And the reality is, especially over the last 2 years during COVID, the pandemic and all that, we've had like none of the answers.
That's right. There were no answers.
There were none, and some really hard, stressful times. But those experiences that we had before that were really hard and stressful, teaching you like, yeah, I can get through this now too.
Yeah.
And you know, I hope that becomes true for everyone who hears your story as well. So thanks for sharing.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, awesome.